Okay, so welcome everybody. Today's session is going to be covering comparison and linking reviews within Please Review. So to give you an overview of what we're going to cover today, first of all, I'll give you an overview of what comparing and linking reviews means and how that's of benefit to you. Then I'll show you how to link a review and automatically compare documents between linked reviews. And in that, I'll show you how to set up a review with a linked review, and then what icons are available in the review interface for you to be able to access the linked review and any comparison reports generated. And then secondly, I'll show you how to do a compare documents within the same review. So I'll show you how you set up a review and compare two documents within the same review. And again, the link icon that is available to you in the review interface and available to other participants. Okay, so starting off with an overview of review linking and comparison. So review linking, basically that allows you to link a review to another review. So this is useful when you have multiple review cycles. So multiple review cycles of the same document, you can provide easy access to the comments and changes made in the previous cycle by linking the review. And by doing this then shows an icon in your review and allows your participants to easily open a previous review cycle and view those comments and changes made previously. And then comparing documents, producing a comparison between two documents. These documents can either be in linked reviews, so in two separate reviews that have been linked, or we can do a comparison of two documents within the same review. In both instances, it's a useful way of showing the difference between two versions of a document. So i.e. showing your participants what changes they are reviewing, so how the document differs from the previous one. Okay, so first of all, how to link a review. To link a review, we do it in the review setup, and it's at step 4 of the review setup process. And one of the options, you can see it highlighted here on the review options, is comparison and linking. So if we want to link a review, step 1 is we click the link icon shown here. And then step 2, when we click the link icon, we're presented with a list of reviews that we can link to. And we click select against the review that we want to link to. So let's just go into Please Review and we'll go through a review setup and do that. Okay, so I'm just in Please Review and I'm just going to set up a review to do that. So I'm just giving our review a title. I'm not going to worry about the other information in this example. And then I'm going to upload my document for review. Now this screen may look slightly different to you, and that's due to the fact that I'm using the new interface, which is the new version 6 interface. And so in our new version 6 interface, the review setup has got some slight enhancements. So on the upload documents screen, you can see that we can use a drag and drop box to drag documents into a review, or we can use the upload dialog box to upload documents also. Now when we're doing this, I'll just upload my document now. A couple of the changes we're seeing is that we can upload multiple documents in one go, so we don't have to select documents individually. And also once they're uploaded, we can change their type, so we can make documents a review or a reference document after we've uploaded it here. Then step 3, we add our participants. Well, for this example, it's not actually that important, but I will just add a few people into our review. And again, this is where you see some enhancements in terms of the behaviour of Please Review in version 6. Much easier to add participants into a review. You can start typing someone's name and it easily finds that person that you're looking for. Okay, and then at step 4, this is the bit that we're interested in today, is the comparison and linking. So under our review options, we've got comparison and linking here. And if we want to link a review, we simply click on the link button. When we do so, it shows us a list of reviews that we can link to. Now that list of reviews is limited by the filters that are shown here. So you can see I've just got the completed filter checked, so I'm just seeing a list of reviews that are completed that are available for me to link to. Additionally, if I wanted to have a bigger range of reviews to choose from, maybe ones that are still in progress or status closed, I can check those boxes to increase the list, like so. And then also, if I wanted to link to a review that was owned by somebody else, I could choose the owned by others to again increase the list available. Now that owned by others, in terms of what reviews you can link to, basically you need to be able to see that review in normal terms. So it either needs to be a review that you own, a review that you were a participant in, so a review that you were invited to, or in another case, we do have this monitor role in Please Review that allows you to see any review, so you'd need to have a monitor role. So basically, in short, you need to be able to see the review in normal circumstances to be able to link to it. So once you can see the review in the list that you want to link to, simply click on Select. And that's it. We can now see here that it says this review is linked to, and then the review name. So I'm just going to save that. Click next, and now I'm just going to start the review. So when we enter the review now, what we will see is we've got two new icons in the review, and those two icons are shown up here. One of them here, this is the linked review. This shows us that we've linked to another review, and by clicking on this icon, we will be able to access and enter the review that we're linked to. And then the comparison link, the show comparison link here, this will show us a comparison between the two documents in review. So the document that was uploaded for review in the last review cycle and the document that's been uploaded for review in this review. So let's start with the show linked review. We simply click on that and it opens the review in another window or tab. You'll see the status of this other review is read only because it's completed, it's closed, so it's read only. You could link to reviews that were still open, in which case it would be possible to still make comments and changes in that review cycle. However, generally people would only be linking to reviews that were closed or completed, but it is possible to do so if you require to. And then you can see all of the comments and changes in this review. And obviously as it's opened in a separate window or tab, if you were using dual screens, you could drag this tab over onto another screen so you can see the comments and changes made previously alongside reviewing, making your review in the new review cycle. And then the comparison option here, this does a comparison between the two documents that were uploaded, so the one in the previous review and the one in this review. And when we click on the show comparison, we basically get a marked up document. So we see red crossed out text for all the content that wasn't in the previous review, and then the blue underlined inserted text for sort of new text in the review. And you can see over on the left hand side here, we can navigate to each paragraph where there is a difference. So we can simply click on the hyperlinks on the left hand side in the navigation, and that takes us to each paragraph and shows us those changes marked up. So that's basically it for a linked review. Two icons appear, the linked review icon, which allows you to open the other review, and then the show comparison icon that allows you to see a comparison between the two documents. Okay, so let's just go back to the presentation. So yeah, just to recap, they're the two new icons, and you're only going to see both of those icons if there's a linked review. And then secondly, I wanted to talk about how you can compare two documents within the same review. So if you haven't got a previous review cycle to link to, or you don't want to link to the previous review cycle, you can do a compare between two documents in the same review. And to do that, again, quite simply, first of all, at step one, we upload both of the documents, so the current document and the document you wish to compare to. And when we do this, we make sure that the document that we're going to review is of the type of a review document, which is the default type, and the document that we want to compare to must be the type of a reference document. So that's quite important that we have a review document and a reference document, two Word documents, upload those into the review. And then again, step 2, when we get to step 4 of the review options, we just simply check the compare documents within the review box. So let's just go back into the review and run through that setup. Okay, so we'll just leave this review. And let's just set up another new review. So again, I can drag and drop in the new interface, or I can use the dialog upload box. So I can drag and drop my documents in quite simply. And you can see when I've dropped them both in, they've come in as review documents. So I want my version 2 to be my review document, and I want my version 1 to be my reference document. This is the one I want to compare to, so I can see the differences. Again, I can add some people into my review. And then at step 4, this is the key bit, is where I'm going to do the compare documents within review. So I simply tick this checkbox here. And I'm going to start the review. Okay, so this time when I go into the review, I've got my document for review as normal. I've got my reference document, and you can tell it's a reference document because of the icon here. And because I've got these 2 documents in the review and we checked the box, I have got the compare documents in review icon available. Obviously, I don't have the linked review icon because it's not linked and they're both in the same review. So I just have the single show comparison option. And again, when I click on this, it will produce me a report marking up all the differences between the reference document and the review document in this particular review. And again, obviously, I can navigate around that document. Okay, so that's it in terms of setting up a review, either a linked review or a comparison within the same review. So just a couple of key points on both of those options. When linking reviews, basically a review owner, as I said earlier, can link to any review that they can see. So they either need to be the owner of the review, a participant in the review, or they need to have the work group monitor role in Please Review, in which case they can see any review. And then for those people that you invite to your review, they don't necessarily get granted permission to see the linked document and the comparison. So in order for them to see it, one of the following must be true. And that is either that they're a participant in the linked review, or that they've got the workgroup monitor, or that you as the owner of the review was also the owner of the linked review. So when I link to any review that I've previously owned, then everyone that I invite is going to be able to see that. If I link to a review that I was invited to, then in those instances, only other people that were invited to that linked review are going to be able to see the link icon and then be able to open the linked review. And then when comparing within a single review, just to be clear that the comparison works for Microsoft Word documents only. And then in order for the comparison within the single review to work, you need to have only 2 Microsoft Word documents included in the review. One of those is going to be a review document and the other will be marked as a reference document. Now, in addition to that, you can have extra documents in the review. So you can have other review and reference documents in the review that are PDF, PowerPoint, Excel, image files, text files, etc. But in terms of Word documents, it's just the 2 documents. One is a review document and one is a reference document. Okay, so I think that's covered everything that I wanted to show you in terms of how to link a review and how to do a comparison within the same review. I'm just seeing now if we've got any questions from anybody. Okay. Okay, so a couple of questions we've got here. Do you have slides for the download? Okay, in terms of the slides that I've produced, yes, they will be available for you to download later, maybe tomorrow or beginning of next week. And the next question I have is, does this work in older versions of Please Review? Yes, absolutely. This isn't a new feature to Please Review, so you don't need version 6 to get this feature. It's been available at least since version 5, it may be even earlier. I will double check on that, and when I put the Q&A document together, I'll put the exact sort of timeline in when this feature has been available since. Okay, let's see what other questions I've got. Okay, after comparison. Okay, in terms of the comparison report that has been produced, basically that report is a one-off report. It's just displaying to you a report of all the changes. Those changes are not marked up in the either the old review or the new review. The comparison is purely a report showing you the differences between the two. What is the maximum linkage of documents as reference? In terms of linking reviews together, there is no maximum. So you could have a really long daisy chain of reviews. So for example, you could have cycle 1 linked to cycle 2 could be linked to cycle 3 linked to cycle 4, etc., etc. There isn't any capacity to that. Obviously, a single review can only be linked one way to another review, but you can create a daisy chain of reviews by linking many together. Okay, someone's asked what happens with the compare functionality if the linked review contains more than 2 MS Word documents. When you go to check the compare box, if the review contains more than 2 Word documents, it's going to tell you at that point that you can only have 2 Word documents. One is a reference document and one is a review document. So it will stop you from adding additional reference or review documents to your review when doing a compare. Okay, just bear with me a second. I'm just reading a few more questions. Okay, someone's asked if when you carry out a linked review or do a comparison that it leads to more comments from reviewers. I don't actually know the answer to that, so I'm sorry I can't help you on that question. Okay, and then someone's asked when you do a comparison of 2 documents, if you accept changes in your current view, does the comparison continue to change or is the comparison based on the original documents? Now that's a really good question. The comparison is based on the original underlying documents. So the comparison is based on the document that you uploaded for cycle 1 and the document that you uploaded in cycle 2, and it shows you the comparisons between those 2 base documents. It is not based on any comments and changes that have been accepted during the review cycle. Okay, it looks like I've answered all of the questions. I'm just checking now to see if any more questions are coming in. Okay, one final question. What's the advantage of linking reviews versus just doing the comparison? Well, the advantage of linking the review rather than just doing the comparison is if you want to give people easy access to the comments and changes and any discussion threads had around those comments and changes in that previous cycle. Otherwise, if you don't want to give them easy access to that, then obviously just uploading the previous version as a reference document and doing a comparison in the review will just produce the comparison. Okay, well, that's it for today's session. I hope you've all found that useful. It was great to have lots of questions asked. So, as I said before, this tutorial is being recorded, so we'll upload that and make that available to you shortly, along with the Q&A of today's session and the PowerPoint presentation. If you've got any feedback, any comments for future tutorials and what we can be delivering in our tutorials next year, please let us know. Please get in contact. And yes, thank you, everybody. Thanks and goodbye.